Hello again, everybody. Welcome to Buddha Bites 11A. This is a teachable moment. I was so disappointed in the way that the Walnut Brittle turned out on the Buddha Bites 11, and I couldn't sleep, so I woke up extra early. And I decided that I was going to shoot another video and correct the mistakes that I made. So here we go. I'm doing this one all on my own, so we are selfieing, so if you'll bear with me. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to get this up to 340, which I did. And let's see, where did I put my butter? I am going to get the butter in here as best I can, one-handed. There we go. And we are going to give this a quick stir, as we did before. That does take the temperature down just a little bit. And again, I'm doing this one-handed. So I'm just going to take a quick pause before we get to the next step. So now you see why I use a cameraman, huh? It is extremely difficult to to stir lava-hot sugar mixture and film. So I am going to turn this around real quick and show you the result before we put in the nuts and the baking soda. So here we are. The temperature is still up. I'm gonna kick it up just a little bit more. And this has calmed down a tiny bit. I did turn down the heat just a little bit because I was concerned about the temperature going so high, since it was already very close to 340 degrees. So we are about to put in the nuts and the baking soda. Hang tight. Here is our mixture with the nuts, and the baking soda is soon to come. For the sake of my physical and, dare I say, mental health, I went ahead and added the vanilla and the baking soda off camera. So we are about to tumble our mixture onto our silicone mat, and you will see that the difference between the previous version of Walnut Brittle and this one is quite different. Now, before I speak too soon, let's spread it out a little bit. Already I'm having an easier time spreading it. As you see, it looks far better than the other one. I was mortified at the way that came out. And I think that where I went wrong was that I really did not allow the mixture, the sugar mixture, to come as high up in temperature as I should have, which, by the way, was the same mistake that I made in the 5th grade. However, in the 5th grade, it turned out to be sort of like peanut soup, sugar peanut soup, rather than what yesterday's was, which sort of looked almost like halava. I was so disappointed because it should have looked exactly like the reveal. So we are adding the kosher salt. I already feel so much better about this. Look at that. There we go. That's how we do it. That is our walnut brittle. We're going to let that harden up, and when it does, I'll see you for breaking into it. Stay tuned. So while we're waiting to break into our new and improved Walnut Brittle, I wanted to show you something that I found that has made me smile. Let's turn this around. Here is the yearbook from my first year at Masterman, the school I was telling you about. And just to get into the details, there's my handwriting. I was age 11. First year at Masterman, I was so excited. 5th to 6th grade, and I even paid tribute to my teacher, Mrs. Bernice Gordon Green. So I'm going to open it up and show you some details. As you probably saw from the cover, this particular yearbook had the theme, The Greatest Show on Earth. And back in the day, oh my goodness, they would, the interesting artistic choices that were made. Well, anyway, these were the 5th grade teachers, and here was my beloved Mrs. Green, who had autographed it for me. And you may see the chopsticks in her hair. She was a pretty lady. And here is our classroom picture. It's interesting that we, or somebody, definitely not me, decided to include people's nicknames or whatever it was that they considered to be their nicknames instead of their real names. That certainly makes it difficult to find some people now. Here is our picture with Mrs. Green on the upper left, of course, and look at who decided to be teacher's pet right next to Mrs. Green. There's Iris at age 11. And I also see a couple of my Facebook friends here. There is Susan Schnitzer, lower left. She's in her gym uniform still, right over here. And we have been able to stay in touch. There's Michelle Perrine, who is 5th. She's dead center, looking beautiful in her dress. 5, right there. And here is my buddy Cleo Townsend. I'm going to have to make sure that he sees this video. So, and then there were a couple of other, I guess the class was so big that they needed 2 pictures. And I would love to get in touch with as many of those folks as possible. So this is why I thought that it was really cool that I needed to go back in and shoot another version of Buddha Bites 11, and why I was so thrilled to call it 11A. So 11A was my class, and that was, of course, the class with the home ec room, which was a real source of inspiration for me. So let's see, we've killed quite a bit of time. Let's break into our new and improved Walnut Brittle. Here it is, folks, just as it should have been in the first place. Our beautiful Walnut Brittle. It doesn't quite feel like it's ready to go. I'm super, super anxious, but it is still a little pliant. So I'm gonna wait just a sec. Ma, is it time yet? Friends, I think it is finally time. So let's break into this. Alrighty, look at that. That's the way it's supposed to go. These perfect shards of walnut and nice, salty, sweet, sticky brittle. There's the sweet, sticky thing. There we go. I want to also point out that one of the changes that I made was when I was preparing the walnuts, I didn't cut them with a knife. I actually took a moment to break them up just with my hands. And the reason why I made that decision was that when you cut nuts with a knife, there's always the potential that some of the nuts will turn into a powder. And I wanted to minimize any possibility of changing the consistency again, as the consistency before was such a hot mess. So here I stood in the morning hand breaking walnuts, but that was okay. It was sort of a relaxing process. But you see how beautifully this is breaking up. The walnuts look really, really good. Look at that. That is beautiful. I hope you can see. And I feel so much better. Maybe now I'll be able to get a good night's sleep because that other one was hot garbage. It went straight into the bin once I was finished making the video. So I feel like this is Buddha Bites the Redemption version. You know, for heaven's sake, our patron saint is Julia Child. And if Julia Child could make mistakes on television, then doggone it, why can't I? So let's take this into the dining room and plate it up nicely and have a taste. Here is our gorgeous presentation of the Buddha Bites Redux of Walnut Brittle. I am proud of this. I'm actually deeply appreciative of the opportunity to do this again and get it right for all of you. Now let's take a taste. All right, here we go. I am proud of this. I'm not going to keep it all to myself. I think I'll take some to work, and I'm sure I can find a loved one or two to share this with. So, didn't mean to do this, but the teachable moment is we can learn a whole lot from making mistakes, and I have definitely done that here. You are never too accomplished to go back and figure out a better way to do things, better way to refine things, and to trust yourself. So this is Iris Fairfax for Buddha Bites 11A. And remember that even when you make mistakes, you are the Buddha. See you next time.